crystal ball? No? It's time to hone our cunning craft. Sometimes we have to do it ourselves, even when it comes to an Imhotep dream incubation sanctuary. I mean, when was the last time you saw one? Even the sleepiest hamlets seem to have forgotten their Imhotep dream incubation sanctuaries, much less fly-by-night premises. The place where dreams occur is indeed a world of its own, on a plane interpenetrating this physical world, unseen by most. And so we must build our own Imhotep dream incubation sanctuaries on a different plane. If that sounds off the wall, take it a bit deeper. Deeper within an actual wall. Because walls aren't places, but rather dividers of places. And because we think of them as surfaces and not depths, carving out a homemade wall niche makes an ideal dream incubator. It transforms a surface into a depth, a boundary into a place. Here's how to recess like it's 3000 BC. Keep an eye out for a good spot, preferably revealed to you by a will-o'-the-wisp. Under the auspices of your guardian, use a stud finder or arcane methods to find hidden spaces within the wall, between staves and pipes and wires, where it will be safe to carve. If your wall isn't hollow, but rather backed by concrete or bricks, no worries. We'll address that situation in a moment. With the level, pencil trace the window you'll make. If you intend to use an antique iron grate to protect your dream incubation sanctuary, you already have a template. Use a razor blade to cut through the wallboard. If necessary, complete the cut with a loose blade from a hacksaw. The opposite wall will offer a back to your niche, and in many cases the staves can serve as sidewalls. To create an underfloor, as well as sidewalls if necessary, screw through the front wall into blocks of wood. The edge of the drywall will be fragile, so use pilot holes. To finish the inside of the dream incubation sanctuary, align slats from a reclaimed window shutter. They may be glued or nailed in place. Alternatively, many lumber shops and woodworkers offer remnants that make for beautiful niche interiors. Or use pins to install wallpaper remnants or pages from old books. I look for vintage title pages that speak to the theme of the niche. If you don't use a rescued iron grate, frame your niche with old, storied wood, preferably lightning struck or redeemed from a burned barn or salvaged from an historic building. And let this be a comfort to your skill level. When you go with a rustic look, not only does nothing have to be perfect, nothing should be perfect. Contrary to what you might assume, shallow walls pose no problem whatsoever. You will score and remove a section of wallboard, and that will offer all the depth you need. Framing the whole will give more illusion of depth. A shelf, 3 to 5 inches deep, will serve as the floor. Support it with iron brackets or screw in a length of wood secured to the wall below. Once you've built your dream incubation sanctuary, await a dream that will guide you in how to decorate it. Then you won't be a stranger in the place where dreams occur. As a restless sleeper myself, and as there's not a single god of dreaming, in ancient times, dream temples were built to Isis, Imhotep, Seti I, Tot, Serapis, Ta-Satmu, Amun-Ra, Asclepios. I ended up creating, well, dozens of dream incubation sanctuaries. This incubator contains what appears to be a genie bottle. The label on the bottle says Healy Expedition 1965. The name Healy figures into the classic TV show I Dream of Jeannie from 1965, so this may be the actual genie bottle that inspired the series. There's a stack of old letters next to the bottle, apparently sent to the genie itself. The faded postcard says, "As I gaze on the moon from my own cottage door." This incubator is home, or prison, to a gargoyle. This incubator has louvers that slide open. Inside is a relief sculpture of a skull-faced winged creature that seems to be praying. Is it a shrine to placate Pazuzu, the ancient Mesopotamian demon of the winds and bearer of storms? This incubator, dubbed the Vault, contains a 1-pound copper ingot and copper sphere. These side-by-side incubators house 12th century Norse chessmen. This incubator contains an old hoodoo doll, formed of sticks and cloth, arranged with other ritual objects as a lucky charm against storms. The display includes a sun card from a tarot deck. This incubator contains a matrix of 100 silver medals from Italy, stamped with St. Augustine on one side and his mother, Santa Monica, on the other, as a prayer engine. This incubator contains a little crystal ball with the face of the moon peering through. This incubator houses a little wood cabinet spirit radio that plays without a power source. What sort of radio station plays otherworldly music like that? This incubator contains a fairy pin that was found on the ground in an old cemetery. The niche is only 1/2 an inch deep, as there's a concrete block behind the wallboard. This statuary niche, too, is only 1/2 an inch deep, but the framing offers an illusion of depth. You may find that your dream incubation sanctuaries go off in whimsical directions. Here's one with a chocolate bunny, and a little pop-up ghost made of a rusty bed spring. These twin incubators contain miniature glass genie bottles from Egypt. Please do share where your dream incubation sanctuary adventure takes you. Oh, there's the bat from my belfry with today's secret word.
X-ray.
X. X marks a spot where treasure's buried. No? A mysterious person such as Madam X or Dr. X? A hobo symbol, meaning handouts are available? X tells you where to sign your name on a contract or will? An illiterate person's signature? A choice on a ballot? An incorrect answer on a test? A power of magnification? The rating for a restricted film? The strength of ale? The platonic substance of the universe? A kiss at the end of a letter? The location of Nothing, Arizona? Ah, why didn't I think of that first? That reminds me, it's time for the mailbag. Jesse of Nothing, Arizona asks, do you have any tips on how to use a wishing feather while harvesting mushrooms emerging from the rot of a hidden garden? Jesse, as the Null reminds us, begin by wearing a green conical cap so as to funnel your consciousness nearer the cosmos. Kneel with back straight and hands on thighs. Feel the life and growth around you, mirroring the life and growth within. With your whiskers, feel the power of the charged air of this claustral dank cathedral, rank with the sour odor of fermentation and roots. Take 10 deep, slow breaths. Touch the wishing feather atop your cap as you say, Spirit, O mushroom, give me your presence and grant me a boon. Register the soft, silent presence of the alien spirit of the mushroom. Finally, bless each mushroom before removing it from the earth, leaving the poisonous ones for the turtles to relish. Oh, like a stately fungal growth with gills on the underside of its cap, today's sing-along celebrates the old ways.
Oh, how well I do remember days of long ago. To the blazing village bonfire you and I would go. I can see the hemlock blooming, nightshade on the vine, and the fragrant fields of wolfsbane near the bugbear's shrine. By the ritual fire we'd linger, and you'd hear me pray. Hail to thee, now until doomsday, now until doomsday. Praise be in the good old-fashioned way. Burnt offering, sacrificing in the good old-fashioned way. With all a heart's devotion, a spiritual bouquet. My fanaticism shrouds me, and I shan't be turned astray. For I'll hail thee, always hail thee, in the good old-fashioned way.
Are we off?
Not yet. You know, this is the Fabled 30-minute episode.
Aren't they all 30 minutes?
No, do they honestly feel that long to you? This is the Fabled 30-minute episode, and it's happening now.
Now? Seriously?
Well, it's now only for you. For the viewers, it will already have happened at an indeterminate point in the past. The Fabled 30-minute episode had to be filmed sometime, and whenever that was or is, it would or will always feel like the present moment to you. Who was it who said, "Be here now"?
Ram Dass?
Wrong does? Well, everything that can go wrong does go wrong, but the show must go wrong. On. Who was it who said that?
P.T. Barnum?
Yeah, P.T. Barnum. There is succor born in every minute. At least for half an hour.
Half an hour, eh? What takes half an hour? Oh yeah, it takes half an hour for the tide to turn. It takes half an hour for a 50,000-foot thunderhead to appear out of nowhere over the Grand Canyon. It takes half an hour for even the sun to get rid of the unwholesome damp in the atmosphere, so full of impurities and of the seeds of miasma. It takes half an hour to add each denim patch as new moth holes continue to destroy an heirloom wool sweater. It takes half an hour to convince two policemen that you are neither an incendiary nor a fugitive from the state asylum, and that your bottle, because forsooth it is marked poison, is not a deadly weapon, but rather for collecting exotic beetles. It takes half an hour to execute a black magic ceremony that allows the good guys the chance to burst in and save the day, showcasing some hocus pocus of their own. It takes half an hour to pick up fingertip pieces of dreams, grandmother's magazine snippets kept in a shoebox, and click the heavy closet door on them again. It takes half an hour to climb down to the floor of Arizona's giant meteor crater, and well over an hour to climb back out of the depths of space. It takes half an hour to drop everything, open your wardrobe, and sort out your clothes, separating those that are still in good condition. You're transported in time and place whether you wish to go there or not. It takes half an hour to get dressed if there are corsets and pantaloons. It takes half an hour for the bus to arrive, for the bleeding to stop, to do the washing up, to get the men down the coal shaft, and another half hour to raise them again. It takes half an hour for the soot to settle. It takes half an hour to replace a bearing. The bearing goes and everything crunches up. Once the contents are gradually raised to nearly the boiling point, it takes half an hour for the requisite consistency to be attained. It takes half an hour for George Wendt to transform into Edna Turnblad. It takes half an hour for white glue to dry. It takes half an hour for fake tan chemicals to darken. It takes half an hour to stand up straight again after walking through a tunnel built by dwarves. It takes half an hour to light a new fire with flint and tinder. It takes half an hour to light one coal oil lamp when there is no wind worth blowing about. It takes half an hour for a 19th century lady to kiss her friends goodbye before stepping on a train in motion. It takes half an hour to figure out how to work the shower in a New England bed and breakfast. It takes half an hour to sharpen the hatchet, because if a twig is mutilated, an elephant will not touch it. It takes Bela Lugosi half an hour to tell the single anecdote he can remember, the one about the elephants. An average meal takes half an hour to pass through a bird's body. It takes half an hour for the snake, created by the play of sunlight and shadow, to move from the top of the pyramid to its base. It takes half an hour at slow slither for a serpent to exit through the slats between inside and outside. It takes half an hour to get the taste of a disagreeable laxative out of your mouth. It takes half an hour to compare a childhood accident to a crucifixion, or a leaf to the I Ching. It takes half an hour to mix a good salad dressing, and it should be so stiff that the spoon will stand upright in the bowl. It takes half an hour to tune a hammered dulcimer. It takes half an hour to hitch up, but what's the hurry? It's our biggest chore of the day. Updated hunter's stew smells and tastes like it's been bubbling away on the stove for hours, but it only takes half an hour. It takes half an hour to get a cup of coffee at some Jamaican resorts. It takes half an hour to play one side of one phonograph. It takes half an hour for the London Eye to rotate full circle. It takes half an hour to see everything. It takes half an hour to gather the flowers for just one vase. It cannot be hurried. It takes half an hour to make one simple floral headdress. The westbound flight takes half an hour longer due to prevailing winds. It takes half an hour before my body does what my mind says it should. It takes half an hour to read a menu. That's options. That's progress. It takes half an hour or so to learn the basic concepts involved. Even under the best conditions, it takes half an hour to approach within certain killing distance by the crawling method. To cross from one end to the other takes half an hour, 45 minutes in bad weather. It takes half an hour to regain a lost audience. It takes half an hour to untangle a snarl. It takes half an hour to shape a specific jig. It takes half an hour to get one Barbie out of her packaging. It takes half an hour to wrap one yukata. It takes a bat half an hour to revert back to its normal alertness after being woken. It takes half an hour to free people trapped in a car. It takes half an hour for one pair of socks to dry on the clothesline. It takes half an hour to pull in the biggest bass you ever saw. Doing it carefully takes half an hour, but it pays off at the end of the day. It takes half an hour to work up to the highest pitch of energy. It takes a Venus flytrap half an hour to squash a fly and kill it. It takes half an hour to wade out to any decent depth. It takes half an hour for a supertanker to stop. It takes half an hour to find a parking place. It takes half an hour for an auditorium to clear. It takes half an hour to tune a harp. It takes half an hour to change traveler's checks at a bank. It takes half an hour to give salmon patties glamour. It takes half an hour to make a circuit of the cave. It takes half an hour to boil a potato of average size. It takes half an hour to go through all the questions. It takes half an hour for an average actor to learn a scene. It takes half an hour for your eyes to adapt fully to darkness. In 19th century plots, it takes half an hour for the heroine to die. It takes half an hour to destroy matter about to putrefy. It takes half an hour before anybody notices that you look any different in your false nose. It takes half an hour to work your way back to the real reason you called. It won't take a minute, but it always takes half an hour. It takes half an hour to say nothing particular. It takes half an hour It takes half an hour to state that one doesn't have much to contribute, and then prove it. It takes half an hour to recover. You'll feel dreamy for a while, but that's all.
Eologo Fuscio Hippopoconurios. It's very good. Ask for it by name. Fair trade, the only cracker with a fairy inside. Eco-ethereal, supernaturally sustainable, it's fair trade. Fully articulated and silver-tongued, the doll demon. Give Kiki a ring to unlock a secret. Violet powder. A dab will do it.
See you next time on Professor Oddfellow's Penetralia.
Penetralia land, ho, like an anther.